that's not right. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. My name's Mack, and welcome to episode 5 of McMaster University's Learn It, Build It, Create It program. Today, we combine science and history for catapults. Whether they be used by armies from China, India, Greece, Rome, or England, catapults have been used to smash down thick stone walls and get into fortresses. These inventions use really basic science. And today, you will be making your very own catapults using the things you have around your house. However, before we construct our homemade siege engines, we must exercise our bodies to release our creative energies. Follow me. Now, let's take medieval catapults for an example. These things were not easy to lug around and use. At best, they could launch projectiles, rocks, stones, anything big and heavy about once every 2 minutes. That took a lot of work and a lot of muscle power to wind those things up and fire them away. This exercise is designed to warm up our shoulders, our upper back, and our chest. So simply follow me. You're going to raise your arms in the shape of a T, just like this. Repeat this movement several times. Once you've had enough of that movement, move your arms like this. These exercises will warm up your upper body, as many of the people who used catapults needed to do. The last thing you wanted to have happen to you was to hurt yourself trying to use a catapult. These were big machines that required teams, and everyone needed to work together, and everyone needed to be prepared to use these machines in order to be successful. And now that we're all warmed up, I feel sufficiently limber for our next activity. While there are many types of catapults that can be made, today I'll be making a mangonel design for a catapult. Now, these mangonel catapults were very popular and widely used throughout the world, ranging from places in Asia, Africa, and Europe. Now, what we know is that these mangonels may have been invented and developed in China. These machines use very basic materials in science. And today you will be using these same very basic materials and science on a much smaller level to create your very own catapult. I'm using 5 to 6 pencils. If you don't have pencils, sticks, skewers, any old stick-like object will do just fine. I'm also using 5 to 6 elastic bands, a plastic spoon. Again, any old object with a scoop or a bucket attached to it will work just well. And then for my projectile, the thing I will be catapulting through the air, any old ball-like object. I'm just using a piece of cardboard that I've rolled up into a ball. And these are the materials that I will be using to create my very own catapult. But before we make our catapults, we need to know how catapults work. So I'm going to show you this elastic band. This elastic band right here, it's happy, it's relaxed, it's in the position that it's comfortable being in. However, when I stretch it out like this, it becomes tight and hard and stressed. It's not as comfortable as it is when it's like this. Very easy to move, very flexible. However, when it's like this, it becomes tight. I remember when I was in high school studying for tests, I would often feel like this. Tight, really stressed out. And then after I finished my test, I would return to my normal, relaxed state. And I would feel this way. Believe it or not, catapults use and experience something similar. This is called tension. Tension is when we stretch an object out like this. It becomes really tense and tight. It's stretched out. It doesn't like being in this position. It would much rather be in its relaxed position like this, much like me after writing tests in high school. I wanted to be nice and relaxed, like this, not like this when I was studying for tests. When we create tension like this, we create something called potential energy. That's all the energy that's stored up in this tight elastic band. This elastic band wants to return to its normal, comfortable position. Like I wanted to return to my normal, comfortable position after writing my tests. Catapults use potential energy from tension to launch objects through the air. And people thousands of years ago understood this and knew this. When we create potential energy and release it like that, we create kinetic energy. That's the energy that is created when the elastic band returns to its normal state once I release it. From tension, we create potential energy. And when we release the elastic band, we also release that potential energy and create kinetic energy. And this creation of energy, this transfer of energy, is what launches our objects through the sky from a catapult. And you will be doing exactly that. Step 1 to creating our catapult. Take your 3 pencils or sticks. Make sure they're about the same length. Doesn't have to be exact, but as long as they are roughly the same length. Take an elastic band, wrap it around your pencils so they're nice and tightly attached to each other, just like that. Step 2, take your remaining 2 sticks or pencils and you will attach them to the other 3 pencils that you wrapped up in elastic bands with, wait for it, more elastic bands. So you have something that looks like that. Now I've gone ahead and pre-made a catapult. When I've attached all these pencils to each other with elastic bands, I've created our stand for our catapult. And once you've attached your remaining 2 pencils, you might also want to consider attaching another pencil to form a square frame like that, but a triangle one works just as well. Whatever you'd like to make, you do it. And our final step, You're going to take your plastic spoon and you're going to attach it to your catapult. You can use more elastic bands to attach your spoon to your catapult, or you can slide it through the elastic bands that you already have attached to your frame. And just like that, you have created your very own catapult. Let's see if we can get, oh yeah, that's a lot of tension. That's a lot of potential energy. That's going to create a lot of good kinetic energy for us. Now you're probably all thinking, Mac, you talk a big game, but buddy, can you deliver? Well, let's see if I can. All right, I have my catapult set up. I have my projectile ready. All I need to do is fire this thing off. Now, remember, when you're using your catapult, make sure you do not aim it at anyone or anything. We don't want to hurt anybody, or we don't want to damage anything valuable. Make sure you have an adult supervising you when you use your catapult. So, we have our projectile. We'll rest it in the cup or the bucket of our catapult. We'll pull it back and let it loose. Let's see how far it goes using another camera angle. Now, medieval tension catapults could launch objects as far as 100 to 150 meters away. That's a huge distance. I can't promise you that I will launch something 100 to 150 meters using nothing but pencils, a plastic spoon, and elastic bands. However, using this camera angle, I will show you how far your catapult could potentially launch something. Let's see. How far do you think it goes? I bet I get something close to a meter. Let's see. I launched that over a meter away. Imagine what you could do with your catapult and your design. Congratulations, you created your very own catapults. And by learning about the history and story of catapults, you learned about tension, kinetic energy, and potential energy. Well done. Please, we want to hear from you. Share with us your creations. We like to see the different designs you made for your catapults, and tell us how far you are able to launch your object using your catapults. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We really like hearing from you. We really like learning about all of your cool creations. And of course, before I leave you fine people, the answer to the joke from episode 4. What do you call a lazy doctor? Dr. Doolittle. But the fun and humor doesn't end there, friends. The joke for next episode. What do you call a hen who counts her eggs? Well, I'll tell you, I'm just kidding. I never do. You'll learn it on the next episode of McMaster University's Learn It, Build It, Create It. Bye bye.